What's up, good people? How you doing? I'm back. So I feel like last night. So I had to delete my video off Facebook because it was just a little too hardcore for me, and I'm sure way too hardcore for a lot of people. But I bet you it wasn't too hardcore for the guy who is just going through a divorce, or his bank account just got drained, or his kids are gone and he doesn't know where they're at. You know, it's probably too hardcore for the people who are sitting at home with their kids and everything's going good for them, which I hope it never goes the other way for you. And I really do. But the guys who are really going through hell, and let me tell you something why I say guys. It's a factual statistic that 99% of the time, especially in the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s, and even today, when they walk into that divorce court, family court, 99% of the time, the guy is the one who loses money. The guy is the one who loses child rights. Now, there is times when the women do. And if that's happened to you as a woman, how's it feel? Horrible, isn't it? It's worse than anything in the world, isn't it? Well, imagine all the hundreds of thousands into the millions of guys who have been absolutely destroyed. And I'm just telling facts. You know, is it a fact that Hitler killed a bunch of people? And you say, oh, Adam, you're being negative. No, I'm being honest. He did kill a bunch of people. You know, you can't you can't say you're being negative. That's not going to heal. That's not going to put thousands of dollars back into anybody's bank account. That's not going to all the time that these guys miss with their kids. That's not going to heal that. You saying, oh, you're just being negative. That's not going to heal the fucking pain and suffering that's going on out there. There's a need that got created. See, what happened is feminism and divorce laws just giving all this stuff to women and letting these guys get absolutely slaughtered. Good men who love their kids to the end of the world get absolutely slaughtered. What that has created is... You think I'm the only guy talking about this? No, I'm not. I watch videos on this topic all the time. There's guys way more hardcore than I am. It's created some cold-blooded dudes that are out for blood, that want revenge, that are going to tell their sons to never get married and hand over 50% of their lives, or sign a contract saying that, oh yeah, if you don't like me anymore, or if you decide to run off with my best friend, or blah blah blah, all the stories that have happened 100 million times, if you decide to do that, you're going to take 50% of my stuff, and I'll only get to see my kids based on what... And that's when the woman made a mistake. You know how many times I've actually seen that? She runs off with some guy at work. The guy comes home, has no clue. They weren't even fighting. And the house is cleared out, kids are gone. Could you imagine that? I'm just telling the truth, guys. I'm just telling the truth. And I'm sorry if you think it's too hardcore. If you lived it, you wouldn't think it was too hardcore. You'd be turning this up right now. Because people, these guys need to hear this. You imagine being all alone, sitting there with your money gone, your kids gone, your family gone, and you didn't even do anything wrong. People need to pay for that shit. It needs to be talked about. It needs to be talked about. So, and at the same time, it's not necessarily... I do want to say this. These laws have been created by a higher power. These 50% laws, which is just the most outrageous thing I've ever heard in my entire life. If you're a professional football player and an agent walked up to you and said, hey man, I want to be your agent. I can make you a lot of money, this and that, but I'm going to need 50%. You would laugh in his face. That's the worst business deal I've ever heard. Nobody gives anybody 50%. But every single day, some young dumb son of a bitch signs a piece of paper. Now he's connected to this person through the state and the government. That's what that marriage thing is. And if anything goes wrong, he gives away 50% of anything he ever worked his ass off for in his entire life. And he does it like it ain't no big deal. You're signing a business contract, and it's the worst contract you could ever sign in your entire life. I'm just saying. Like I said, I'm just telling the truth. I'm just telling the truth. But these laws weren't made by women. Okay? I'm going to be fair. They were not made by women. But, okay, I'm telling you that I believe, and I know everybody does, you'd be crazy not to, I believe these laws are way wrong. If they had a law that you could sleep with a 13-year-old girl, that's how young you could be to have sex, to legally have sex, and guys start having sex with 13-year-old girls, would you just say, oh, that's a law? Oh, that's a law, he can do that? Or would you get pissed and do something about it? This is the same kind of law. You get to rob guys for millions of dollars. You get to take half of something you didn't even earn 1 penny of. That's a fucked up law. Okay? That's just a fact. Anybody who has half a brain knows that's a disgusting law. But you smile and take the money, don't you, honey? Don't you? You don't have to, you don't have to answer that question. I see it every day. I see it every day. You know, you do the wrong thing. Like I said, if it was a different kind of law that was passed that was wrong, but just because men don't stand up for themselves, and they're so used to, they're trained since little kids to just take a thumping over the head, they let it go, and nobody even says anything about it. Well, I'm saying something about it. And so are a lot of other guys. You think I'm going to tell my sons to get married? You really think I'm going to tell my sons to get married with how the laws are set up? Hell no, I'm not going to tell my sons to get married. At all cost, avoid marriage. You guys, it was created by people who have been destroying men for years now. And if you're in a good situation, like I said, that's great for you. That's great for you. But, one terrible injustice is enough. These guys are getting killed every day. Horrible shit's happening every day. That's why you should honestly, you have to really legitimately stop and think. And you're not going to stop and think because, you've watched too many Disney movies where the white knight came and saved the princess and all that. Oh my God. You need some reality in your life. And that's what I'm bringing. I'm sorry if you think it's negative. Alright? It's not negative. It's the truth. It's the truth. So I'm going to keep it short for tonight. But I'm not out here to offend anybody. I'm out here to bring the truth. For men and women. And if I believe that marriage is one of the riskiest things a man could ever do, there's a reason for it. So, alright, you guys have a good night. Thanks for listening.